Only player to have multiple 30-point 10 assist games in WNBA history and a sixth all time. Oh, wait. She didn't. Because according to the WNBA, neither of these are assists. According to WNBA, again, I cannot show these in full whack. So she dribbles down. I saw like 2 seconds of a clip. She drives here.
The WNBA just handed the internet a gift, and they didn't even realize it. Picture this. It's Sunday, one of the biggest days of the young WNBA season. 2 nationally televised games. Prime time exposure. Millions of potential new fans tuning in. And the league's marketing team sits down, looks at their roster of superstars, and thinks, yeah, let's go with the bench player. The one averaging 7 minutes a game. The one who had scored a grand total of 4 points all season. That's the face we want representing our league tonight. Unbelievable. Now before we get into all of it, let's set the scene properly. Because context matters, hey. Sunday wasn't just any random day on the WNBA calendar. This was a showcase day. The kind of day the league dreams about when they are negotiating broadcast deals and pitching sponsors. You had A'ja Wilson, 2-time MVP, one of the most dominant players on the planet, suiting up with the Las Vegas Aces to take on Angel Reese and the Atlanta Dream in the afternoon. That alone is must-watch basketball. 2 generational talents going head-to-head on national television. Then, to close out the night, you had Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever squaring off against the Seattle Storm in a primetime slot on NBC Sports Network and Peacock. A dream doubleheader. The kind of programming that makes casual sports fans stop scrolling and actually sit down and watch. So the WNBA does what any league would do in that moment. They make a graphic. They post it to their X account. They write "Do Not Disturb, the W is on today." Bold, confident, fine. And then they attach photos to represent each game. For the afternoon matchup, they go with Wilson and Reese. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. Those are the 2 headliners. That's the draw. You'd have to be actively trying to sabotage yourself not to put those 2 faces on that graphic. And they got that part right. But then you scroll over to the second half of the graphic, the evening game, and something is wrong. Something is very, very wrong. Because the face staring back at you isn't Caitlin Clark. It's Raven Johnson. Now, Raven Johnson seems like a perfectly fine human being. This is not about her as a person, and it's not even really about her as a player. She's a young player still finding her footing at the professional level. She's part of the team. She belongs there. But she is averaging 1.3 points per game. She plays 7 minutes a night. She had scored 4 points in 3 games combined at the time this graphic went out. And the WNBA looked at Caitlin Clark, the most talked about, most watched, most commercially valuable player in the entire league, arguably the most important thing to happen to women's basketball in a generation, and said, no, we're going with someone else. Let that sink in. Because we're not talking about a close call here. We're not talking about a situation where you could make a reasonable argument either way. Caitlin Clark is so far ahead of every other player in the league in terms of public recognition and drawing power that it's not even a conversation. Her jersey sales broke records. Her games consistently pull in television ratings that the WNBA hadn't seen in years. She's the reason casual fans, people who had, never once in their lives watched a WNBA game, started tuning in. She's the reason national sponsors are paying attention. She's the reason the league has the kind of broadcast deal it's sitting on right now. And the league looked at all of that and still found a reason to leave her off the graphic. When fans spotted it, the reaction was exactly what you'd expect. Immediate, loud, frustrated. People flooded the replies pointing out what the league apparently couldn't see for itself. Someone called it the worst marketing in sports. Another person pointed out that 99% of the country couldn't name all 4 players featured in the graphic, which, fair point, absolutely true. Someone else said putting Raven Johnson over Caitlin Clark in a thumbnail is a fireable offense, and while that might be a bit dramatic, the underlying frustration is completely understandable. Even Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports jumped into the conversation, which tells you how far the story traveled and how much noise it made. And here's where it gets interesting, because there are really only 2 ways to explain what happened. Either the WNBA's marketing department genuinely made an error in judgment, they just didn't think it through, didn't realize how it would land, grabbed the wrong photo, which would be a staggering level of incompetence given everything they know about the current moment in their league. Or, and this is the theory some fans started floating, the league is doing this deliberately, that they know putting Caitlin Clark's name in any context generates clicks, generates coverage, generates conversation, and that even leaving her out gets people talking. Either way, the league ends up trending. Either way, people are discussing the WNBA on a Monday morning who might not have been otherwise. If that's the strategy, it's a dangerous one. There's a version of this where you're clever, where you're playing the internet like a fiddle, where the controversy becomes the marketing. But there's another version, the more likely version, where you're burning goodwill with exactly the fan base you need most right now. The fans who came to the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark are not lifelong diehard WNBA supporters. They are converts. They are new. They showed up for her, and they are still deciding whether they are going to stick around for the rest of the league. And every time they feel like the league is going out of its way to minimize her, that decision gets harder. You don't kill the golden goose. That's the oldest rule in sports marketing. You find the thing that's working and you lean into it. You put her face everywhere. You make her unavoidable. You build the league's identity around what she's bringing to it right now, and you use that momentum to lift every other player alongside her. That's what a smart league does. That's what a league that's thinking long-term does. Because if Caitlin Clark makes casual fans fall in love with women's basketball, those fans might stick around and discover A'ja Wilson and Angel Reese and Breanna Stewart and every other incredible player in this league. That's how you grow. That's how you build something that lasts. What you don't do is give people a reason to feel like their favorite player isn't valued. What you don't do is turn a showcase Sunday into a controversy about a promotional graphic. What you don't do is hand critics the exact ammunition they need to say the league doesn't know what it has. Clark went out and played her game on Sunday night, because that's what she does. She can't control what the marketing department puts on a graphic. She can't control the decisions being made in boardrooms and creative meetings. All she can do is show up and perform, and she does that. But the league has a responsibility too, a responsibility to the players, to the fans, and honestly, to itself. Right now, women's basketball is having a moment. A real, genuine, sustained moment that goes beyond hype. The talent is there. The storylines are there. The investment is starting to come. But moments like this one are opportunities to either accelerate that growth or slow it down. And this weekend, the league chose the wrong path. Hopefully it's a lesson they don't need to learn twice.